All right, I'm back. Can you guys see me? All right, sorry about that. I'm not gonna try and be too cute and like push things here, push things there. Uh, what were you asking me? So Hood, I kind of lost sight of Hood. I was with Hood for a little while. Wow. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna go through 123. I just would be a little careful considering how far it just came back up to there, but it did hold the 8 day. Had some good trades in Hood too. I wanted to buy it back and I just kind of screwed it up, but it looks good. How do you determine the options? Depends on the name, depends on why I'm in it, depends on the setup, depends if there's a binary event, so it all depends. Like when I took the QS trade, here, when I put the options on, I was like, let me give it enough time to take out 1075 because, we were thinking there could be some battery news, it could just trade well and blah, blah, blah. So that was then. You could see my other options when I took the Intel calls, I took it in here. I think we sent out the power play somewhere around September 4th when it was looking pretty good. I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me buy some options just in case it wants to get to 27.55. And I bought the September 19th for tomorrow. And then, news happened and went a lot higher than that. So it all depends. What do you say, Washer? Do you sell and buy the same stock over there? No. I don't sell it with myself. If I sold it with myself in between counts, I'd go to jail. So basically, by buying and selling the stock doesn't matter. I'm a prop trader. I trade. I pay taxes on my P&L. That's why in my long-term accounts I only do funds. So this way I'm not sitting in Apple, in my in my long-term 401k or whatever it is, and then I'm shorting it here. That's a wash sale. So buying and selling the stock all day long is not a wash sale. Yeah, you want coin chart? Wow, it's in the gap. Nice move. Can't be upset about that. Has a lot more room to fill that gap too. Mister, day one. Day one, maybe this one will lead to more. It's a nice day one there for Mister. Looks like Wolf needs a day off, which is fine. It's choppy. That's the way it's been moving. Did sell some on, into resistance so you could buy it back. Right. How does Buzz look? I don't even know what that is. What's Buzz? Looks great. Wow. Nice breakout. But that's pretty good. Buzz? What do you mean? Oh, Bull? I don't know. What's Bull doing? It's doing a whole lot of nothing. See, now, this is a good example of something you could do. So this is what you could do, okay? If you think that Bull's going to wake up, which it hasn't, if you think this is going to get better, which I got stopped out the other day, what I would do is here, if you're like, hey, I think if this really gets going, it can go to, 18. So what I would do is I'd say go out 2 weeks and 4 weeks and buy the $15 calls. So this way, if there's news, if you think there's something that's going to be there that you're going to miss, you buy it. And then if you get a day one, like a real day that has volume and this, you have the options, and then you buy the stock. And then you see what happens. But ultimately, this has been left for dead. I don't know why it's so bad, but it is. So that's what I would do there. Ethereum looks good. It's just not, it's not taking off, but it looks fine. I was buying it into here. Remember that trade we had down here? That was a great trade. That was your catch-up trade. That was your money trade. SOUN. Yeah, it looks pretty good. These little ones are going. See, like something like this, I would also like. You're like, would you take stock or options? I think options is easier. You could, if you think it's gonna have a huge move, because some of these things are having huge moves. This is, this is 1708, right? So you can go out and buy for not this Friday. You could buy next Friday 17s if you think that's gonna be a quick move, or you can go out 4 weeks and buy the 17 and a halves or whatever. UP. Yeah, finally had an up day. I don't trade this, but had a big move lower. I know a lot of people looking at it. Looks fair. Above the moving averages. Has some room. ONDS. It's had a huge move. A lot of guys made a lot of money on this thing. It's been above the 21 day trending really nicely. It's trying to hold the 8 day and turn up. Definitely something if you want on your radar to stay with. At the moment, well, yesterday was Tesla. It's all different. I'm not exactly sure if Amazon is going to get better, but Amazon right now, look at this. Amazon's got a nice little wedge now. They saved it today. This could be something like so Amazon right now, I have the 240 calls on for next Friday, which probably are too close. So into yesterday's weakness, I went out to October 3rd. So if the market hangs here and money rotates, I would think, this is in the game to take out 238.15, 240, 250. So that's why I have next Friday, which are cheaper than the following Friday. But this looks better now. It's holding this. You've been able to buy dips. AUR. What is this? I don't know. It looks tight. It looks like it's under accumulation. Looks like it needs some kind of catalyst. This you got to go really far out. SPED hasn't been as good as the other ones, but it's trying to poke its head out here. If crypto continues to go, this looks okay. Obviously, BMNR has been better. On its way to 70. DraftKings, I haven't heard of that name in a while. Not doing a whole lot. By the way, educate your kids that gambling is not easy. They're going to lose their money. Anyway. What's the best way to learn options? You could probably ask Dan. Dan's the option guru. I'm just, just a schmuggle. But I guess, it's not a bad spot. If you like to buy stock into support, this is some support for DraftKings. UMAC I like. So, these drone names are just basing the way, I feel like quantum based. Everyone was so sick of quantum and so upset with quantum, failed here, then finally, boom. Talking about that, look at ASTS, so it's looking better. We bought some options. Be nice if this thing can work towards, right here. What's the 21 day? 42.81. We'll see. Wolf one screen. There you go. Gotta love it when you could sell some at 11:60 at 6:20 in the morning. You could buy some back at 11:30, during the day. Larry X says NTRS, a nice setup. Let's see. Ooh, that is a nice setup. Northern Trust. Looks really good. Looks like it's on its way. That looks like it could be a power play. This is something where I would say, hey, if it breaks out, you can go out by the 135 calls. If it happens, I'd buy next Friday's calls. That looks good. Very, very, very nice. What else we got? Let me just see what's happening here a little bit. What's the SPY doing? Just hanging around. What is I'm a Slan, nothing. You're right. I probably be better off buying options. So what you could do with Joby is, if this is going to move and it's going to be exciting, it should happen within the next few days or weeks. So you could go out and buy, the $15 calls for Joby. So I'll just track it a little bit better. So I would buy the $15 calls, and then this is where there'd be some resistance, like 1630s. But yeah, because it's just rebuilding. No reason, I just want to show you how I could put a position on it and how quickly it comes onto the virtual trading floor. Oh, Johnny boy. Yeah. When is the next entry for UNH? Haven't looked at that in a while. Kind of went into the gap a little bit. It's just a newsy type play, so it's tough. So you could buy it versus low here. This was a nice little breakout on UNH. TEM. It's a nice looking setup. Wow. Yeah, this one looks as if you're going to be getting an all-time high soon. Hanging here. This looks really good. You can go look at the weekly chart. You can see how tight it is even more. This is the last time I looked at it. Tempest AI looks good. Looks really good. You know, if I were buying options here, I'd go out to next Friday and buy. This is 91. This is 91, so maybe you go out and buy like the $90 calls. If it gets above this, should see 95 to 100 pretty quick. Mr. Softy is Mr. Softy. He's being Mr. Soft. Not doing a whole hell of a lot. You can't overtrade this stock right now. It's still in rebuild mode. Still a little harder. I just say you could be long this versus 505 or 503, or what you could do is if you think it gets going or it's something's going to ignite another one of these mag names because they take turns, go out and buy the 517 calls for maybe October 3rd. Go for that one. So this way you get new flows coming in. So that's a better way than getting chopped up and paying strength, doing strength. MOD. Nice trade. Never heard of this one. Got above here, continuing. Nice little gap that never got filled. Power. If you don't fill a gap, that means it's showing power. Nice. What are you, a little dyslexic, Logan? Me too. TSAT. Yeah. Hey, it had a big move. Probably getting ready to be a buy into the 8th day. You have a gap here. If you sold some strength, you could probably accumulate a little bit there. Uh-oh, what's Lane saying? Oh, thanks, Lane. No, by the way, everyone tries to contribute. There are some people that have been doing this longer and are kind of like the generals of the army, but every now and then someone comes up and makes a really good call and definitely helps the greater good. So all is well. All right, but listen, it's 11:52. We're gonna do a happy hour later at 5:30. Hang out for an hour. Go over some things. I'll recap the day. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully today will end a little, not such volatility. I've already taken some risk down. I'm managing some trades, and just really this whole week is about you seeing the process. Making some money is awesome too. Not every week is a great week. If you followed me yesterday and today, you probably made some pretty good money. This week also. It's really about the consistency. It's the longevity. It's why, the what. It's the how. It's not the do what I do type of thing. AMD got hit on the Intel news. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Came back off lows. It's a bit constructive. So if you're long this, you could be long versus here. It probably needs a little bit of time now to rebuild after that. That probably took a lot of energy to just hold a little bit of a double bottom. So you can kind of get rid of this now. Looks like there's some room in here. Got to be positive. Oh, behind the scenes is this. So this is my keyboard. I told you yesterday. So Shift Q buys the inside market. Shift P offers it. Shift sell sells the inside market. This is the old school watcher keystrokes. I have all of these. Level 2. So one of my screens will have all of these on it. So I'll watch, the inside market after doing all my chart work. And if I wanted to buy this, I could press Shift BBB and just take out the inside market at 500 share lots, etc., etc. If I want to buy this, I could just press Shift B, 500 lots. If I want to sell, I could say Shift S. If I wanted to put a stop in, I could take this order entry, and I could do it this way also, and put in the amount of shares, and then put a number, like I do at lunchtime. I don't program these things. I have programmers that do it, but I'm just used to doing it because that's what I've done since 1998. I was trained on an old school watcher, so I don't even have to look at the keys. I could just do my stuff. I think a Bloomberg terminal is not worth the money, but if people have a lot of money, why not? Good for information, good for news. I have all you guys. You guys have it. So I don't even think you need a Bloomberg terminal if you're on the alpha team. Just need maybe even Benzinga news, which is cheaper. Oops, sorry. And then you inside markets, like here, like the inside market. This is like if I wanted to buy this here, You press it and that takes the inside market, 31 cents. Then 31 cents start to leave, then you take the next. You look at here on NBIS. If I wanted to buy it here, I could press Shift O and take out the 95s. And then they leave, and then the 98s happen, etc., etc. So that's the inside market. Cool, Patrick. Listen, there's a lot of good chats out there, but here I feel like I'm a magnet to people who like to work hard, play hard, fitness, friends, family, everything that's kind of important. There are other guys that have chats like this too. Some give things more room. Some don't have the where you could see the positions live. You just talk about them. Some, who knows? But I'm a hybrid. I'm a little bit of everything. I learned how to day trade from 1998, and then I went from day trading, swing trading, and then after a decade learned some options, and then after that I've taken courses, and after that I've learned some macro, and then I've been on TV, and now I'm 52, and here I am, trying to be a roll-up of everything that I learned, and sometimes it's too much, so you learn a little bit, you take a little bit out of it. Some guys are like, hey, I read, Doug, I know you don't love to short, so when you buy something that doesn't work and you lose, I just short it because that means it's relatively weak and it's going down. You take, for me, what it's worth. And, hopefully it's consistent enough to make everybody enough money. I appreciate that. But right now I got to get going. I'll be back closer to 2, and we'll see how we close. And then I have my own doctor's appointment at 4:30, so I have to get out of here at 4:02. But I'll be back at 5:30, and I'll grab us some IPA. So make sure you have a beverage of choice. But I'll be back around 2ish.